Hello, I am Joshua P. Warren, and this is Joshua P. Warren Daily. And I've just got a quick update for you. I have this giant pile of of news and emails and all kinds of stuff that I could be sharing with you, but I just don't have the time to do it right now. And so I'm going to save that for my next podcast, but I didn't want to leave you hanging too long here because I'm telling you guys, what a month, what a year, right? Right now, you know that I'm working on various TV projects, and so far, I've heard a lot of great comments about the appearance I did there on Into the Unknown on the Travel Channel. I'm also working on a new book. That's something I haven't talked about. I think I'll be finished with it by the end of the year. And just yesterday, I received a phone call regarding a new project that is potentially life altering. So I'm delighted that I have so many opportunities coming in at once here, and yet at the same time, it's making it more difficult for me to keep up with the quote daily podcast. But nonetheless, it means a lot to me that you listen to this podcast, and I'm telling you some things, some big things are happening right now, bigger than I ever thought would happen. And so I expect to be sharing some pretty remarkable news with you over the next few months. And keep in mind, and you know this already, I'm not just talking about, oh, I'm going to be on a TV show or I'm doing a radio thing or I'm doing an event. No, I have access to do research at places that most people can't access. And so I consider myself first and foremost a researcher. Everything else I do is based on the research. And so, oh boy, if things work out the way they should work out, I'm going to be telling you some pretty wild stuff here before the end of the year. I'm also working on a new product, by the way, my last new product of the year 2020. I don't know if I'll have it ready when I want to have it ready, but if everything works out okay, then I'll be telling you about that soon. But listen, here are the things that I want to. Here's my update. All right, here's what I want to share with you. This is why I'm leaving this podcast. For one thing, as you know, when I'm not, doing this podcast, I'm being interviewed by other people, whether it's on TV or terrestrial radio or somebody's podcast or a webcast. I mean, people interview me all the time. And I was interviewed recently on a big show in Canada. And on that show, I said something that you've probably heard me say before if you listen to this podcast, along the lines that I don't like what's happening right now in the world. I mean, why would anybody like what's happening right now? I said, I don't like what's happening, but there's no way that the world can improve without some kind of change happening. So, in other words, you can't stay the same and improve at the same time. And let me emphasize, I do not like what's happening, but I have faith, whatever that's worth. And I believe that I believe that I live in a positive universe. And every day I wake up and I say that I live in a positive, loving, friendly, supportive universe. And my experience is a good experience every day. I don't know what you're going through, but my experience is a good experience. And it starts with me laying that groundwork. And so I have faith that when things that on the surface appear to be bad, at least how they're presented by the media, are occurring, that ultimately I may not understand the outcome, like the end result here, but that it will improve things. And so I said that in so many words on this show in Canada, and I started getting some of these kind of nasty comments in social media saying, wow, like this asshole says that he thinks what's happening right now is good, you know. And that's not at all what I said. So again, I'm saying that this is bad, but I think there must be a reason for what's happening that will ultimately be good. And so, in order to clarify this for you, and I've read this before, I want to go to my book, Use the Force, A Jedi's Guide to the Law of Attraction. It's kind of hard to get a physical copy of the book these days because the publishing business is it's gotten really weird, how many books they print and the shipping's all slow, but you can get it on Kindle. I mean, you can find some physical copies out there. You can even get the audiobook and hear me read it. But I want to read to you what I think is one of the more important parts of the book from page 103. And again, you may have heard this, but listen to it once more. It is absolutely true that as your exercises proceed and you become even more aware of your environment, your sensitivity to the balance around you will also increase. In fact, there will be days when no matter how clear and positive your visions and intentions may be, it seems the entire force is simply in a rocky state. Remember that you live in concert with the universe, but that does not mean you control it. There will be days when you wake up and everything seems to go wrong, one incident after another. However, it is at those times that it is most important for you to use the force, doing your best to readjust things around you, bending them back to the positive world you want to experience. This brings us to an extremely important point in the process. As you change the world, some things must break down so that others can be born. I'm going to repeat that. As you change the world, some things must break down so that others can be born. And then I go on to say, throughout your life, you've heard conventional wisdom, like every cloud has a silver lining, or as Helen Keller and many others have said, when one door closes, another opens. Well, up until now, you may have felt these kinds of sentiments were just condolences, a last attempt to cheer up someone in hopeless circumstances. However, you now must understand completely that these phrases are true. You cannot move forward in your life and also stay in the same position. Change is required. That's again page 103 from Use the Force. So I believe that what's happening right now is ultimately going to produce a better world. It's an ugly process that we're in right now. It's confusing, it's unknown, but if you look back through human history, this is nothing new. I mean, look at the wars, the plagues, all the things that we've been through. This is life, I mean, it's a big classroom and you're learning here. So let me also remind you, because we all need reminders and refreshers from time to time, the basic steps to using the force. One is prepare your mind. Okay, you cannot use the force just cold turkey starting from nothing. There is a process where you have to prepare your mind. And of course, I'm not going to go into that now. That's why I wrote it in this book. It's kind of funny because my buddy Jim Mars, who died a few years ago. He wrote all these books about the Kennedy assassination. And he said that he would have these people who would email him and say, "Who killed Kennedy?" Like he owes that to them. For one thing, this could be any dickhead in the world. You owe this. Tell me who killed Kennedy. And he'd write him back and he'd say, "I wrote a whole fucking book about this. Read the book. Buy the book." Okay? I'm giving you the shortcuts here, in a way. Number one, you prepare your mind. That's a process. And if you want to know the process, well, you get the book. Number two is be grateful. Be grateful. Whatever you project out every day is what will come ultimately back to you. So find something to be grateful for. Whatever it is. The smallest things. If you have two eyes that work, be grateful for that. You can just fill yourself with gratitude. Next is visualize exactly what you want. By the way, I know a lot of people have problems with that. And as a matter of fact, this new product that I'm working on is designed to solve that problem. So if you're somebody you're like, okay, I'm into magic and I'm into manifestation and I want to make my life better and I want to make the world, I just don't have whatever it is that allows one to envision and imagine what I want. Well, guess what? I got some good news for you. I'm working on a product that is specifically designed for you. You better be sure to go to joshuapwarren.com and sign up for my free e-newsletter so that if I get this thing done here in the next month or two, you'll be one of the first people to know about it. joshuapwarren.com. Takes you 2 seconds to put your email address in there and hit the submit button, and that way I can email you. Okay, next is remain in the mindset of receiving. That's a big one. A lot of people, that's where they screw up. You can do all this stuff, but then at the end of the day, if you are not in the mindset of receiving, your treasure might be dropped right in front of you and you don't even recognize it. So again, you have to read the book to get the details on that. Next is give it time. Give it time. That's always important. If you have instant gratification, that can be horrible. If you're driving in traffic on a busy afternoon and you have Darth Vader's power to choke people by clenching your fist, well, you might kill 5 people on the way home and then say later on, "Oh man, I really didn't want to kill those people." So time is your friend. Time helps you. Time gives you an opportunity to really include thought and make sure that you're doing what you really want to do and you're not being rash here. Next is avoid the negative. Avoid the negative. This is the hardest thing for people right now to do. And that's why I say stay away from negative news. Stay away from people who are going to just give you negative energy, And again, that may sound impossible, but it's actually not. Impossible is a powerful word. There's a lot of shit you can do in your life that is not impossible. It just takes you making the decision like, I'm not going to do this. And then next comes surround yourself with daily reminders, which is where I talk about how that it's not good enough to just have an affirmation. You have to have affirmations that work, and I get into that. Next is understand the principles of perfect balance. Next is remember the mirror effect. And if you've never heard of the mirror effect, well, this could be one of those things that changes the way you view the whole world. Like your mind will go poof if you read about the mirror effect. That's where Ho'oponopono comes in and all that. And then next is court the universe every day. Treat the universe as if it's something you want to impress and be nice to it and flatter it and just see what happens. If you start treating the universe like it's something wonderful, then amazingly, the universe will start treating you like you're something wonderful. It works. Next, we have beware of the dark side, which means that there is polarization in the universe. You can't have somebody good without somebody bad. I know it sucks, but apparently that's how it is. So you're gonna always have your Darth Vader out there that's gonna try to mesmerize you and deceive you and manipulate you and sway you into his or her evil agenda. Um, Next is do your best to grasp the latest science. The great thing about studying the new scientific developments is that it continues to reinforce everything that we talk about in metaphysics. So it helps to take it beyond just talking to something that's proven in a lab. And then, of course, the last thing I mentioned here in this book is noticing. And that's why I always bring up the Mothman Prophecies movie with Richard Gere, where the guy is confused. You know, he doesn't understand why he's always seeing all these creepy winged beings, and he goes to the expert, and the expert says, "You notice them, and they notice that you noticed them." So, yeah, this is kind of like some Matrix level reality, digging into that. So I'm not going to talk about this anymore, but I just wanted to give you a refresher. Use the Force, A Jedi's Guide to the Law of Attraction is my book. And just recently, I published on my Twitter page a link to a podcast that I did 2 or 3 years ago, where I talked about Ho'oponopono and how that you can tap into Ho'oponopono, which is part of an ancient Hawaiian tradition, in order to do some truly astounding things and change your life for the better. Wiping a certain slate clean. I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. These are phrases that are used in Ho'oponopono in order to clear your cache, your mental cache. And if you need more context, well, go to Twitter and look up Joshua P. Warren. Follow me there at Joshua P. Warren, and you can get a full understanding of what the hell I'm talking about and how this can make your life better very quickly. Okay, the second thing I want to bring up here is that even though, and I have got to run here soon, but even though I have not been able to leave more podcasts for you recently, well, I was, of course, interviewed by Justin Perry, who owns the You Are Creators channel on YouTube. And that just got posted today. Him interviewing me as a webcast. And I don't do that a lot. So, you know, it's one of those things where I went to the bar in my house and just got on my laptop and talked to the guy on a webcam. And I look ghastly. You know, that's the thing. Like, I just watched some of it. And I'm like, ugh. I look. Let me put it this way. I'd rather have like a studio where I can do things Barbara Walters style, where they can come in and put on makeup and give me soft lighting and all that. I got really harsh. Like, I'm just literally sitting at my bar in my kitchen on this laptop talking to him and kind of doing show and tell, uh, and demonstrating all kinds of weird things that I have here in my house. Well, You can go watch it already. Thousands of people have seen it. I just looked. And so if you want to get the link to that, again, go to my Twitter page, Joshua P. Warren, at Joshua P. Warren there on Twitter. As a matter of fact, if you are a subscriber to my e-newsletter, I sent that link out to all of you already as well. Let's see here. The third thing is Monday is when voting ends for the best ghost tour in America. And last time I looked, my Haunted Asheville ghost tours in North Carolina were number 3 out of 20. And the top 2 were Nightly Spirits, which is a big like national company that has all kinds of tours in different cities, and then Sisters Grimm in San Antonio. But what's funny is because we're in the final days of voting, they won't show you the final tally board. They say that oh well, it's going to be a surprise. So they're going to announce the winners on September 4th. But you've got until Monday to go to votehauntedasheville.com. Asheville has the has the letter E in the middle. So it's ASHEVILLE. Votehauntedasheville.com. Please go there. Hit the vote button. You know I have a wishing machine set up here so that every single person who hits that vote button is going to have something lucky happen in his or her life. And you can vote once per day, or maybe even more than that if you use different browsers and different devices. So go to votehauntedasheville.com, and this is one of my final pleas for you to do that as a favor. And you know what? I hope we get number 1. If we don't, I feel pretty damn proud just to be there in the top 3 at this point. So I hope that you'll tell everybody to go there. It takes you 2 seconds. You just hit that blue button that says vote, and it's done. VoteHauntedAsheville.com. So I think that's about all I can tell you today. Oh boy, I wish I could tell you more, but I am bound by obligation to not tell you more about what just happened to me yesterday. But I promise you, I'm not bullshitting you. It's something big. It's something that is life altering. And if you're somebody who enjoys this podcast, if something is life altering for me, well, it's going to be life altering for you perhaps as well. So that said, that's your update. And so I hope that, if you know anybody who is feeling lost right now, anybody who's stressed out, people are losing it. Like, I'm getting emails from people and they are insane. Okay, I'm telling you. They're not, like, they fucking lost it. So if you know somebody that you think needs to just sort of, be brought back to center a little bit, I promise you, as a listener of this podcast, that I'm about to give everybody some good, stable, logical information very, very soon. And so I hope that you will share this podcast link with all of your friends, family, loved ones, tweet it, whatever you need to do. Post it wherever you can post it. Why wouldn't you? It's free. And I hope that everyone will go to joshuapwarren.com. There is no period after the P. Go to joshuapwarren.com. Check out the Curiosity Shop. Weird, rare, handmade, unique items that you can only find there. The emerald one, by the way, is sold out, so I'm sorry if you missed out on that. That we sold the very last one of those. And when you go there, just keep in mind, if you buy something from the Curiosity Shop, not only are you going to get something cool, but that's how I fund my research. Sign up for the free e-newsletter, look at all the weird videos, etc. But most importantly, click the link to this podcast. It is called Joshua P. Warren Daily. You'll find on the homepage a link there in the upper right hand corner. You'll see it on the menu there. It's always short, it's always free, commercial free, uncensored, independent. And when you click that link, you can subscribe through various means or just follow me on Twitter at Joshua P. Warren, at Joshua P. Warren, and I will usually tweet when a new one is available. So, when I tell you I have some pretty crazy, exciting new news coming for you soon, I hope you believe me. And thank you for, well, paying attention to this particular update. Oh man, I wish I could tell you everything that's going on, but I will soon. I will soon. So, that said, thank you for listening. Thank you for your interest and support. Thank you for staying curious. And I will talk to you again soon.